If you're looking for pound the best home health and beauty fragrance products, you need to go to ashkickin.com.
Oh, you stupid fool. Did you really think you gonna hit me? Huh? Bam, bam, bam. Over.
DONTAE'S Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Well, this really isn't any surprise that no one is really reporting this. None of the mainstream media members are reporting this. But for the second time, Sergey Kovalev is forced to hurry up and take down a racist tweet that he put up. We know the first time he did this, it was when he depicted Adonis Stevenson as a monkey. Now, Sergey Kovalev, and you got to give him credit, he found a clever way to use the N-word multiple times by doing some type of racist parody or meme of Andre Ward. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play the video that Sergey actually put up and then removed right away. And then I'm going to give you a whole truth breakdown on it. Go ahead and check this out. So as you could basically see, he tried to portray Andre Ward as some in-bombing, fake religious person who spells everything wrong because he's so hood and so uneducated. This is pretty much, in other words, he was calling him an N-word indirectly. Now, it's so crazy to me that, first of all, the man, Sergey Kovalev, who's known for calling black people monkeys, he portrays Andre Ward as using the N-word, but of course everything he says, it has nothing to do with monkey comments, it has nothing to do with him using the N-word, but he puts it all on Andre Ward. This is a man who wants to call black people the N-word so bad, but he knows in America it's not fashionable. It is fashionable in Russia, though, to call black people monkeys, the N-word, etc., etc., etc. It's very fashionable. In fact, I'm going to show you guys the history of Russia. And it's not really the history, because these things are going on today, which is so unfortunate. That's why it makes no sense when you hear some fan try to defend Sergey Kovalev and say, oh, well, you can't blame him for calling that black guy Adonis a monkey because he really looks like a monkey. Okay, well, if that's the case, how come we don't ever see people walk up to some black guy and say, man, has anyone ever told you you really look like a monkey? That would never happen, right? The reason why it would never happen is because you know that you would offend that person. You're not going to walk up to a black person, or anyone in that case, and say, has anyone ever told you that you look like a monkey, you look like a dog, you look like a frog, you look like a turtle? You're not going to say that to anyone because you know it would be offensive. That is the most ridiculous way to try to justify a racist comment. And what makes this whole situation even crazier is the racist fans in boxing and all over the world, they'll turn around and they will accuse someone of addressing racism and say they're racist. This is how we know that those are just code words. Because those same people will defend Sergey Kovalev and say, oh, well, that wasn't really racist. But you know, when you address Mel Gibson being a racist, that makes you a racist. When you address this guy or that guy, when you address these racial double standards, that makes you a racist. Those are code words, guys. Those are code words. Because what they want to do is they want to call you a racial slur without the backlash. In other words, a racist person, he wants to be racist without the title. Now, before I get into this history of Russia and the racism, the extreme racism that exists in the country today, let me just give you a perfect example what I mean when I say racist people, they want to be racist towards blacks without the guilt. They want it to be considered fashionable. They want it both ways. They want to be racist without the title of being called a racist. Because if they have to admit that they're racist, then they would have to admit that they're the bad guy. They're the ones with the problem, not the people that they hate, right? So anyway, let's get back to Sergey Kovalev and where he gets this racism from. You know, a lot of people probably haven't really looked into it, but I'm gonna go ahead and educate you guys right now on Russia. A lot of people do not know how racist the country of Russia is today. I mean, think about it for a second. Where do you think Sergey Kovalev gets the idea of being so comfortable to not only depict a black man in America as a monkey, but put the shirt on, I still don't know if this is his son, whoever this kid is, put this shirt on a child, which if you really think about it, it's no different than putting a KKK suit, outfit, costume, whatever you want to call it, on a baby, on a child, which we've actually seen before. Matter of fact, let me go and put that picture up. First thing you notice, both kids have a little smile on their face. You notice that? A little smirk. But this is not the kid's fault. No, this is not the kid's fault at all. Obviously, it is the adults that pass it down to the kids. And then those kids, they will pass it down to their own kids. And then the cycle just continues on and on and on. Let's go ahead and talk about Russia. One more time, I ask you this question. Where did Sergey Kovalev get the idea of being so comfortable to depict black people as monkeys? He got it from his own country. Let's go ahead. You guys will be surprised to know that in Russia, they have products in Russia that depict black people as monkeys. Let's go ahead and look at it right now. This right here you guys are looking at, believe it or not, is a cutting board that they were selling in the biggest grocery store, one of the biggest grocery stores in Russia. They were selling it on the shelves. A cutting board of a black person, Obama, being depicted as a monkey. Once again, this is not just some Nazi who has this sitting in his garage as racist memorabilia. No, this was sold, once again, in a major supermarket chain in Russia. And then when the boards were taken down from the shelves, the company that supplied the boards, they never even apologized. They said it's just a picture of monkeys. Then they had the nerve to say, nowhere on the board does it say that's Obama. This is what they actually said. Kovalev, with a picture of a monkey on a little child's shirt, why do you think he's so comfortable to put that up on Twitter? Russia is known for having the most racist soccer fans today. Once again, we're not talking about the 50s, we're not talking about the 30s. We are talking about today. Throwing bananas on the soccer field. Once again, depicting black people as monkeys. So this has nothing to do with how Adonis looks, etc., etc. This is obviously directed towards black people. Do you know they even have a chocolate Obama candy bar where they make fun of Obama in Russia as well? That just recently got removed as well? Oh yeah, it's a candy bar. It's called Obamka. And as you can see the picture right there, it's supposed to be a picture of Obama with a gold earring in his ear. And Obamka, it translates to Little Obama. Now keep in mind, they've never made any candy bar or ice cream chocolate bar about any of the white presidents that we've had in this country. But they put it on the shelves when it comes to the black president. We know what time it is, right? Now I could give you tons of examples, but I'm going to give you just one more. Have any of you guys ever seen this woman or heard of her? She's a former figure skater in Russia, and she's also a member of the Vladimir Putin party. And just like Sergey Kovalev, she put a picture on her Twitter depicting black people as monkeys. And just like Sergey, she had to take it down right away. Because in Russia, they have this dry-ass Nazi sense of humor that is obviously accepted over there. Okay? Now, after Irina put that picture up of Obama and Michelle Obama, she was chosen to light the flame at the 2014 Winter Games by Vladimir Putin. You know, when Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao both signed the contract and they were promoting the fight, it was America, not Russia, but it was America that depicted Floyd Mayweather as the villain, the devil, the bad guy. And they depicted Manny Pacquiao, the foreigner, as the good guy. Jesus, the angel, etc., etc. Whatever type of reference you want to use, right? Now, and I remember this like it was yesterday because it was so offensive. With me being a black man, it was very offensive. ESPN, they were promoting the fight, and they basically put together some highlights. Manny Pacquiao's highlights versus Floyd Mayweather's highlights, trying to promote the fight, of course. Now, but what's so crazy is when they put up Manny Pacquiao's highlights, it was highlights of him knocking people out, him constantly smiling, you know, just being the good guy. And then all of a sudden, they played Floyd Mayweather highlights, and the main thing they played was clips of Floyd Mayweather basically being arrested in handcuffs with his head down, going to jail. I mean, this was so deliberate, it was like on some 1950s type stuff, right? Now, the reason why I bring this up in this video is because, once again, America was willing to depict the American as the villain, the black American as the villain. And when it comes to this Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward situation, the media is not even talking about some of these racist tweets that Sergey Kovalev is putting out. Now, let me be more specific when I say some of these tweets. I'm talking about the recent tweet that he just put out. Okay? This is offensive. I mean, to say the least, right? Once again, Floyd Mayweather, he flashed money, he talked a lot of stuff, and people said he was the villain. So if he's the villain, what is Sergey Kovalev? And why isn't he being depicted as the villain? Even if the media just wanted to temporarily depict him and brand him as the villain, this would be the best time to do it right now with this type of stuff. You know, at the end of the day, there's no doubt about it, this is going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great fight, and it's the most significant fight. And I keep telling you guys, or at least I tell anyone that I talk boxing with, this fight is very reminiscent of Joe Louis versus Max Schmeling. With all the stuff I just educated you guys on, you guys can kind of understand where I'm coming from. But yet, once again, America depicted its own countryman as the villain when it came to Floyd Mayweather, but they haven't really said too much about Sergey Kovalev. At least they haven't depicted him as being a villain. Oh, sure, they've quoted a lot of things that Sergey Kovalev said that didn't pertain to race, but as soon as he says something that pertains to race, no one is really talking about it. Outside of the New York Post, which is where I seen this article, and a couple other websites. If this was any other sport, NFL, the NBA, this would be big news. But in boxing, it gets swept right underneath the rug. It's extremely ironic that when Angel Garcia, when he was using the N-word, which I reported on that as well, the media had a field day talking about how inappropriate that was. But for some reason, when it comes to Sergey Kovalev, and he's dropping the N-word, the same media members that reported on Angel Garcia, they're not even touching this. So apparently, not only does Sergey Kovalev has his Hope insurance and his Hope card, but he has a platinum Hope card. Okay? So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. But at the end of the day, I will say it again. This is a very significant fight. And it just became even more significant. There is even more on the line with all that I just revealed to you guys. You know, I was always told as a youngin', you treat people the way you want to be treated. And I can tell you right now, when Freddie Roach went on somewhat of a racial tirade talking about Mexicans and Jews, I reported it. And I said it was offensive. Keep in mind, he wasn't talking about black people at the time, but I still said it was offensive. It sure would be nice if non-black members of the media were to address this the way it should be addressed. To at least attempt to suppress the racism that exists in the sport of boxing. There is no doubt about it. No matter what Sergey Kovalev says about black people, he is a great fighter. And like I always tell you guys, I practice what I preach. I can separate my emotions from talking boxing. I'm not going to tell you he sucks because of the tweets that he puts out. That doesn't change how good of a fighter Sergey is. And as good as he is, that doesn't change the fact that he is a racist. That's pretty much all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
This is Bobby, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.